Hello, welcome to my channel. You ever notice how a hug from a woman feels like it carries a message deeper than words? Not just warmth or comfort, but something that hits your chest, makes your heart pause, and leaves a lingering question. What is she really feeling? Men, listen closely, because the truth is, a woman's hug is far more than a simple gesture. It's a coded signal, a silent language she doesn't expect you to fully understand unless you're paying attention. Too many men dismiss it, thinking it's just friendliness or habit. But those who see beyond the surface, they discover truths that most will never even imagine. When a woman decides to wrap herself around you, there's an intention behind it. It's not always romantic, not always sexual, but always revealing. Her body speaks in ways her lips might never admit. If she lingers just a moment too long, her fingers brushing against your arm, it's an unconscious confession. And here's the thing, women don't just hug out of politeness. There's a psychology to it. Her hug can be a test, a feeling out of boundaries, or an invitation to something she isn't ready to put into words yet. Every nuance, the pressure, the duration, the closeness, is a piece of the puzzle she's leaving for you to interpret. Most men miss these signs entirely because they are focused on the wrong question. Does she like me? The right question is, what is she truly trying to communicate with this embrace? There's a difference between a hug that's casual and one that's charged with meaning. A casual hug is fleeting, her hands barely grazing yours, her body distant, almost apologetic in its brevity. But when a woman presses closer, allows her body to align with yours, even unconsciously, she's opening a doorway. And here's where it gets interesting. The subtlest micro-movements. Her head resting against your chest for a heartbeat longer, her hands lingering just enough to feel your warmth. Those are emotional breadcrumbs. They're invitations to recognize vulnerability, to meet her on a level most men never even try to reach. Understand this. A hug is her way of lowering walls without saying a single word. Women are trained, socially and biologically, to communicate indirectly. They often express attraction, curiosity, or comfort through touch first, words second. So when she hugs you and you feel that brief electric jolt, the heartbeat sink, the subtle warmth that travels to your chest, that's her speaking to you, but not with words. She's giving you access to her unspoken world. And make no mistake, men who ignore this, who fail to interpret these signals, will never truly understand her. Now, here's the dangerous part. Some hugs are traps. Women can use a hug to gauge your reaction, to test patience, confidence, and emotional control. A soft squeeze, a moment of hesitation before release, even a gentle pullback while keeping eye contact. These are tiny psychological challenges. How you respond, whether you acknowledge the depth of what she's giving you or retreat, teaches her everything about your emotional intelligence, your presence, and your ability to read between lines. So the next time a woman hugs you, don't just stand there thinking it's polite. Don't rush it. Don't overthink it and overreact. Feel it, observe it, measure it. Every nuance carries a truth about her emotions, her intentions, and her psychology. And if you're wise, if you've trained yourself to notice, you can learn more from a single embrace than most men learn in months of conversation. Notice how some hugs leave you breathless, almost disoriented, as if your chest is suddenly too full. That's not accidental. When a woman hugs you in a way that lingers, that presses just enough to make your heart skip a beat, she's signaling trust and curiosity. Trust is rare, it's earned. If she allows herself to wrap around you with intent, it means she's evaluating you without words. She's asking, silently, are you someone I can let in? Men often underestimate the gravity of this moment. Many see only the physical touch and miss the emotional stakes. But a hug is her microscope, and you are under it, whether you realize it or not. Her energy in a hug tells you everything about her current emotional state. If she's relaxed, breathing evenly, letting her body soften into yours, she feels safe. If there's tension, a quick squeeze followed by a subtle pull, She's conflicted, curious but hesitant, testing if you can handle the emotional depth she's hinting at. Every subtle movement, every heartbeat alignment is information. Men often overlook these details because they expect women to be direct, to articulate what they want. But women rarely work that way. Their psychology is subtle, nuanced, and deeply symbolic. Here's a truth most men never consider. A hug can be a mirror. When she hugs you, she's unconsciously reading your response, measuring your energy. Do you stiffen? Do you relax? Do you retreat? Or do you meet her halfway, matching the tempo of her emotions, acknowledging the unspoken dialogue? Your response becomes part of her calculation, whether she sees you as safe, worthy, or emotionally intelligent. Some men think it's just a physical gesture, but in reality, it's an emotional audit. You are being evaluated quietly every time she lets her arms around you. Pay attention to her hands. Where she places them matters. Hands on your upper back or shoulders show respect and trust, but also curiosity. Hands that linger on your arms, subtly brushing against your skin, signal emotional intrigue. She's testing boundaries, seeing how you respond to closeness. And the head, your anchor to her presence. If she rests it on your chest or shoulder, even for a split second, that is a level of vulnerability she's rarely giving. She's letting you see a piece of her inner world, a fragment of what she usually hides. Men who notice this understand something few ever will. She is giving you a window into her psychology, not because she owes it to you, but because she is intrigued enough to risk it. And here's the kicker. The emotional impact of a hug isn't just about her. It's about the dynamic between you two. She's not just revealing herself, she's measuring you. Can you handle subtlety? Can you recognize complexity? Can you sit with ambiguity without panicking? Most men fail this test because they're too focused on what they want, validation, intimacy, or attraction, rather than what she is communicating. The hug is a lens into her mind, her desires, and her doubts, and the truly powerful men are those who can interpret it correctly. Remember, every lingering hug is a conversation without words. Every subtle squeeze is a question. Every soft pull is a test. And the man who deciphers this silent language gains access to levels of connection others will never experience. It's not about reading her like a book. It's about feeling her, understanding her, and responding with presence, not expectation. This is the secret most men will never learn. A hug is not just physical, it's psychological, emotional, and profoundly revealing. Not all hugs are equal. Some are purely friendly, a social gesture. Others are far more revealing, layered with intention. The moment a woman hugs you, she's not just connecting physically, she's scanning for your energy, your emotional stability, your presence. Every nuance of your body language, every subtle shift in your breathing tells her whether she feels safe, understood, or intrigued. Most men completely miss this because they reduce it to, she likes me or not. But the truth is far more complex, far more fascinating. A hug is a silent negotiation, a psychological litmus test she's conducting without words. If she pulls you close and doesn't immediately release, she's testing boundaries, not with manipulation, but with curiosity. She wants to see if you can handle her emotional intensity. Can you remain calm when she closes the gap? Can you hold space without overstepping? The way you respond reveals your maturity, your confidence, and your ability to meet subtle emotional cues. A soft squeeze in return can communicate understanding. Tension or withdrawal communicates uncertainty. She's reading these signals with a precision that most men underestimate. A hug becomes a map of your character, and she's navigating it effortlessly. Her head placement is never accidental. Resting against your shoulder or chest signals trust. It's a tiny act of vulnerability, a gesture that carries enormous weight. She's letting you into a private space, testing your reaction to closeness. If she maintains eye contact during or after the hug, she's deepening the connection, gauging your comfort with intimacy. These moments are fleeting, almost imperceptible, but they are emotionally charged. Most men dismiss them as coincidence. The few who notice understand that every hug is an invitation to step into her inner world without forcing it. Then there's the subtle pressure she applies. A firmer hug, longer than expected, communicates desire for connection, sometimes emotional, sometimes physical. A hesitant squeeze, brief and fleeting, communicates caution, a guarded curiosity. Women often don't verbalize what they feel because vulnerability carries risk. A hug allows her to express complex emotions safely. And men who misinterpret or overlook these signals miss the rare opportunity to understand what she is really communicating. The hug is her language, and the grammar is written in tension, closeness, duration, and release. Understand this. A hug is both invitation and test. She's asking, without words, if you are present, confident, and emotionally intelligent. Are you reading the space she's creating, or are you clumsy, distracted, thinking only of what you want? Her psychology is sophisticated, shaped by instinct, social conditioning, and emotional intelligence. She doesn't need to say what she's feeling. The hug carries it all. Men who ignore this risk confusion, missed opportunity, and frustration. Men who pay attention gain insight into desire, boundaries, and emotional availability. Here's the truth most men never grasp. A hug is the purest form of female communication. Words can lie, intentions can hide, but touch rarely deceives. Every nuance, the closeness, the softness, the hesitation, is a data point. The man who sees it, feels it, and responds with awareness is rare. He becomes someone she trusts, someone she's drawn to, someone she studies in silence. That's the power of understanding the psychology behind a hug. It's not just affection, it's insight, it's revelation, it's influence, and it can change the way she sees you forever. Here's the part most men never learn. How you respond to a woman's hug can either pull her closer to you or push her away. It's not about force or words, it's about presence, confidence, and emotional intelligence. When she wraps herself around you, she's giving you a glimpse into her private world. Your reaction matters more than you realize. A man who meets her energy, who matches her subtle tempo, communicates understanding without speaking. That silent dialogue, her signals and your responses, lays the foundation for trust and attraction. You feel that brief moment when your chest presses against hers. That's where emotional alignment happens. Women are experts at reading energy, and that closeness is her way of checking yours. Do you tense? Do you lean in naturally, without expectation? Do you acknowledge the unspoken connection? Men who overthink or overreact destroy the subtlety. The ones who succeed are the men who respond instinctively, with calm, grounded presence. Your stability becomes her comfort. Your confidence becomes her trust. And that's magnetic in ways words can never replicate. Pay attention to your hands. Subtle placement can communicate awareness and respect. Rest your hands lightly on her back or shoulders, not gripping, not stiff, just grounded. Let her feel the strength and safety in your presence. Too many men overcompensate or misplace their energy, and the moment dissolves into awkwardness. But when you master this balance, every hug becomes a bridge. She begins to associate your touch with security, curiosity, and emotional resonance. You're no longer just a man she knows. You're someone who understands her psychology on a level few ever will. Timing is everything. Don't rush the release. A moment of pause, letting your energy linger without pressure, allows her to process her own emotions. That pause is powerful. It communicates patience, awareness, and respect for her vulnerability. Women notice this deeply. They may not say a word, but they feel it. And when she feels it, something shifts. The connection deepens. Emotional intimacy grows, and attraction intensifies without a single word being exchanged. The hug transforms into a conversation of souls. And here's the ultimate truth. A woman's hug is a mirror for your emotional capacity. Can you remain calm when confronted with her vulnerability? Can you hold space for her feelings without needing immediate reward? Men who can do this naturally draw women in because they demonstrate emotional mastery, the rare quality women instinctively seek. Every hug becomes a lesson in understanding, in presence, and in subtle influence. This is why some men are unforgettable, because they don't just hug back, they communicate without words, and in doing so, they unlock the hidden layers of her psychology. Remember, a hug isn't a handshake. It isn't small talk. It's a window into her intentions, her desires, and her trust. The man who learns to read, respond, and mirror her energy doesn't just gain physical closeness, he gains insight, emotional resonance, and subtle influence. That's the power hidden in something as simple yet profound as a woman's embrace. By now, you should understand this. A woman's hug is never just physical. Every second, every subtle shift, every heartbeat sync is a window into her emotions, her desires, and her boundaries. Men often dismiss it as casual or polite, but the truth is far more profound. She is testing, communicating, and revealing, all without words. And the man who sees it, who truly understands it, gains insight into her psychology that most men will never even imagine. Some hugs are invitations to trust. Others are subtle confessions of curiosity or longing. Some are tests of your emotional awareness, measuring how grounded and present you are in the face of vulnerability. And here's the secret most men fail to grasp. It's not about how you feel in the hug. It's about how you show up. Your energy, your stability, your ability to read her without needing words. That is the ultimate signal she's seeking. If you miss it, the moment passes. But if you recognize it, you unlock a depth of connection few men ever experience. Look at the little details, the pressure of her arms, the angle of her head, the rhythm of her breathing. Each element tells a story. A woman who presses closer, whose touch lingers, is revealing more than comfort. She's revealing her trust, curiosity, or even attraction. A hesitant hug, brief and fleeting, is caution wrapped in curiosity, an invitation to show emotional intelligence before she opens further. And the man who deciphers these signals doesn't just win a moment. He earns the privilege of understanding her inner world. And this is where most men stumble. They either overthink, overstep, or fail to notice entirely. They chase what they want instead of observing what she's revealing. But the man who masters this subtle dance, who notices, who reflects, who responds with presence, becomes unforgettable. He doesn't need words to communicate understanding. His energy speaks volumes. He becomes someone she trusts, someone she admires, someone she secretly studies without admitting it. This is the silent power of the hug, and it's accessible to any man willing to learn the psychology behind it. Now, here's the final truth, the personal challenge I want you to consider. Next time a woman hugs you, notice the details, feel the energy, and respond not with expectation, but with awareness. Ask yourself, what is she really telling me? What does her energy reveal that words cannot? And here's the question for you right now. Think of the last meaningful hug you received. What were the unspoken messages? Can you identify 3 subtle signals she was sending you? Write your answers in the comments below. And if this opened your eyes to something new about female psychology and the power of a hug, hit that like button, subscribe for more insights, and share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. Every hug tells a story. Are you reading it or letting it pass by?